It's another story time. Today I'm going to read you the Sneetches, which is also by Dr. Seuss, and it's in the same book as the Pale Green Pants story. But before I read it, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remind you how much I love you. I love you, Oodles, and I love you, Scoodles, and I love you, bags full of noodles. Okay, lovies, you ready? Here we go. The Sneetches. Now, the star-bellied Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-bellied Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small you might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-bellied Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. "We'll have nothing to do with the plain-bellied sort." And whenever they met someone they were out walking, they'd hike right on past without even talking. When the star-bellied children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the plain-bellied children had none upon theirs. When the star-bellied Sneetches had frankfurter roasts or picnics or parties or marshmallow toasts, they never invited the plain-bellied Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark on the beaches. They kept them away, never letting them near. That's how they treated them, year after year. That's not very nice. Then one day, it seems, while the plain-bellied Sneetches were moping and doping along on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine. And he said, "You want stars like the star-bellied Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them out. But the thing really worked. When the plain-bellied Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars from the start, "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your frankfurter parties." "Good grief," cried the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetches, and they're still the worst. But now how in the world will we know," they all frowned, "which kind is what, and the other way around?" Good question. Then up came McBean with a very sly wink, and he said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who, that is perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetch on the beach, and all it will cost you is $10 each." "Star-bellies are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wonderful contraption will take off your stars so you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs." And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. And then with their snoots in the air they paraded about. They opened their beaks and they let out a shout, "We know who is who, now there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without." Then, of course, all those with stars got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star was now frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you can probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. Uh-oh, look at this. Horrible mess. All the rest of that day, on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machine they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept going through, until neither the plain nor the starbelly knew whether this one is that one or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie, he packed up and went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They'll never learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong, I'm quite happy to say, that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon theirs. Oh, look, they're friends. That's good. Want to hear another one real quick? This one's called the Zacks. One day making tracks in the prairie of Prax came a north-going Zacks and a south-going Zacks. And this is what happened. Let me start that over. And it happened that both of them came to a place where they bumped. There they stood, foot to foot, face to face. Look now, said the north-going Zacks. I say, you're blocking my path. You're right in my way. I'm a north-going Zacks, and I always go north. Get out of my way now, and let me go forth. Who's in whose way? Snapped the south-going Zacks. I always go south, making south-going tracks. So you're in my way, and I ask you to move, and let me go south in my south-going groove. Then the north-going Zack puffed his chest up with pride. I never, he said, take a step to one side. And I'll prove to you that I won't change my ways if I have to keep standing here 59 days. And I'll prove to you, yelled the south-going Zacks, that I can stand here in the prairie of Prax for 59 years, for I live by a rule that I learned as a boy back in south-going school. Never budge, that's my rule. Never budge in the least. Not an inch to the west, not an inch to the east. I'll stay here not budging. I can and I will. If it makes you and me and the whole world stand still. Think that stubbornness is going to get them anywhere? I don't. Oh, look at this. A city. Well, of course the world didn't stand still. The world grew. In a couple of years, a new highway came through. And they built it right over those two stubborn Zacks and left them there standing unbudged in their tracks. All right, one more. Don't tell your mom. Just one more. Too many Daves. Did I ever tell you that Mrs. McCabe had 23 sons and she named them all Dave? Well, she did, and that wasn't a smart thing to do. You see, when she wants one, she calls out, "Yoo-hoo! Come into the house, Dave." And she doesn't get one. All 23 Daves of hers come on the run. Oh my goodness. This makes things quite difficult at the McCabe's, as you can imagine with so many Daves, and often she wishes that when they were born she named one of them Bodkin Van Horn, and one of them Hoosfloos, and one of them Snimmin, and one of them Hotshot, and one Sunny Jim, and one of them Shadrach, and one of them Blinky, and one of them Stuffy, and one of them Stinky, another one Papa, another one Moonface, another one Marvin O'Grive and Balloonface, and one of them Ziggy, and one Soggy Muff, one Buffalo Bill, and one Biffalo Buff, and one of them Sneepy, and one Baby Weed, and one Paris Garters, and one Hare Tweed, and one of them Sir Michael Carmichael Zut, and one of them Oliver Bolivar Butt, and one of them Zanzibar Buck Bunk of Fate. But she didn't do it. And now it's too late. You know what, lovies? My daddy was named Dave. His name was David, and people called him Dave. It wasn't Zanzibar Buck Bunk of Fate. It was just Dave. I love you, and I hope you have a really good day and a really good sleep tonight, and I will see you soon. Night-night.